Hello, and welcome back to the Guns and Glory show. Scripture verse for the day, Philippians 4, 6, and 7, where it says careful, it means anxious in translation. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be known to God. And the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Jesus Christ. Got a generator today. Let's check it out. Well, the generator showed up. That ought to come in handy. I guess that other company should have taken the money while they had it. Alright, so, didn't take me but a minute or two to figure it out. I need to make a little cart for that. Maybe a little trailer. We'll see. Probably just attach it to the frame. We'll see how it goes. You know, the worst part about this whole thing is the fact that I've got a good idea here. And I want to take that little cabin down there and make a business out of it someday. Literally run a business out of it, I should say, make a business out of it. And I got one right here. Could make a product and sell it, and I don't have anything to worry about. But some representative from China is going to put his mask on and get on an airplane and fly over there. And pretty soon you're going to go to Harbor Freight and you're going to see one of these things. And some little 8 or 9-year-old kid's going to be making this thing for you. Instead of me out here as an American, opening a business, becoming an entrepreneur, having some employees and paying them a reasonable wage, a living wage. It's a shame. You know, the patent office wants, I think, 10 grand just to file a patent or to do a search or whatever, and then you'd need about 20 or 30 for a lawyer. It's sick. Absolutely sick. You know what? That's the only thing about all this made in China stuff that makes me happy. Because every time I see made in China, I say, I told you so. I wanted to open up a website a few years ago, if I knew how, called madeinusa.com, and only allow things to be bought and sold on there from the United States. It'd be nice if somebody that knew how to do computer would do that. I forgot, about the time that door slammed shut, that we're going to cut this here, here, and here, leaving that top section there, which I will probably cut and finagle right in here somewhere and just drop the bottle right in there. Maybe we'll use a bungee cord to strap it. I don't know. We'll see. Make it up as we go. Not that you'll be glad you did that, so be sorry if you didn't. Kind of one of those things. I'll get the rat tail and clean the insides out too. I got to making this tongue and got ahead of myself with the video. So, simply, you just split the pipe with a hacksaw and grab a hammer and just casually beat the tar out of it. If your wheels are obviously on the ground, that's going to square that for you automatically. Okay, earlier I said that we were going to take this thing and bolt it here, but we got a problem with the angle here, obviously. Now, when this thing was longer, that angle wasn't so pronounced, that wasn't so bad, but I still had it in mind. I don't want to just attach it down there. I suppose I could, but no. The only thing I've got left here to work with, the only thing I've got up here to work with really are these two pieces of plate that I had from putting that solar panel up there. Happens to be, that's a little warm. I didn't get burned, but it started me. Happens to be, this is just about right. Now, if I bolt that thing right about there, yeah, on the top side, they'll give me a little bit more room. And then maybe bend that 90 degrees up, cut it off a ½ inch. I can weld it there and bolt it here. Now I've got a structure. I can take the rest of this, bend another 90 and weld it right about here wherever it needs to be to line up with that. Okay, that's the plan. I love making this stuff up as I go. I had this figured out in just about the same time it took to film that. I didn't know that I had this one. And as I was filming before, I was planning on doing something with that. Well, as soon as I come over here, I went about like that and had it. This is fun. Okay, ran into something I wanted to show with a little bit more clarity. Got that bolted on. And go like this. Let me check that view real quick because you gotta be able to see that. Up a little bit. Okay. Anyway. Now, if you lay that on the edge and lay this up here and mark it from the back with maybe a bent blade like that, see if I can get that to work. Yeah, it worked. Now, I know where to make the bend that'll line up right there. This is thicker than that, so I'm going to bend this one. Change my mind. It's easier. All right, you want to find that line and go about the thickness and 1/3 above the jaw. Now, I'm either just about out of acetylene or a gauge is broken. I'm not sure which. I might be screwed here. If I can't get that hot, that's not going to bend. I got it to light, so I should get enough. Even if it were out of gas, basically, I should get enough out of it. At least to make the bend. And by the way, don't forget this is hot. And scald yourself. I wish I had my welding head here. Oops. I wish I had my welding head here. It'd be easier. Yeah, my glasses are fogging up. Starting to turn red. I can start to feel it bend. I'm putting pressure on it from the top. There she goes. Looking at it from the side. There you go. That's it. And there we are. Sitting just a little bit proud. This is fine. Always better to cut it big. Weld it right there. Okay, I got that bracket all welded up. It's still quite hot, actually. I didn't film it because I just couldn't get a very good angle on it. And so we'll try to show you to close this thing up. Oh dear, where did I put my lighter? Don't take long. Bunch of coat hangers is invaluable for welding, actually. It's cheaper too. This is a lot of fire to be putting on that little bit of metal. sure wish I had my torch head up here. Derek gave me one. It's in a box somewhere. Lucky I don't fry this thing. I'm gonna burn the paint out of the way. Just want to start to get it warm up, get it cherry, and we're gonna go a little bit of a carburizing, not oxidizing. Since it's such a big flame, we'll cool it off by doing that. Boy, that's tricky. Too much fire for this little tiny piece of metal. Let that cool off and go to the other side. Way too much fire. But I'm a pretty good welder. On sparks. That's just vaporizing steel. Too hot. Way too hot. I wouldn't do it this way if I had any other way to do it, but I don't. Sometimes you do what you gotta. Jeepers, that was a bit like soldering them. Welding. Controlled melting. Alright, better quit. That's it. Good enough. While we get the tongue cooling off, we'll get this into place. Got a bolt, lock washer, followed by a washer and a nut. Start with that up from underneath. And I'll probably have to reach around from back or under to get it over, tip it over to the side like that to get it to get my fingers in there. Yeah, okay. And that's how things usually go. I don't edit a whole lot. A little bit. I'd rather show how things really go. Like, truthfully. It's one of the advantages to running this thing without any gas in it. That plate of steel is still pretty hot. There. Now, drill and bolt those in. Don't drill a hole in the gas tank. You put a dent in the gas tank, that's okay. I'd rather not, but that's a pilot. I think this bit's still sharp enough. Sharp enough to get through that, I hope. Okay, that's the end of that one. You get the idea. Okay, Now, I only had half the frame in the video that I wanted to show you when I was putting those in, but now that we got those bolted in, the one down there, we can lop this off here, bend that chunk, and then weld it wherever height we need it. After that, I guess it's just a matter of punching a hole in it and in the trailer tongue and bolting it together. Of course, I'll have to take it apart to make this weld, but that's no big deal. It's just 3 very basic stuff. So, start. All right, we got our tongue cut out. Just need to get a couple of holes where they need to be for the bolt, which I have selected here. The 2x4s there obviously keep my drill bits in good shape. There. I might need a bigger bit, I don't know. If I do, I'll just go get it. Yeah, just one, that's all. Just one size, that's it. All right, so right about there. I just took that one out of there out of habit. That looks good right about there. You know what? That's dangerous. That could catch and spin. I'm gonna go finish this up in the vise. I'll be back. Good. Now the easiest way to make sure that this all winds up in the right place is to bolt it together and then put it where you want it permanently. So bolt that up to that. We don't need all the hardware involved. And look around for the marker that I didn't bring again. All right, let's see, maybe. It's because I hammered that down at that angle that did that. So let's try. Nope. We'll just change the angle of it. See, this is why we didn't weld that already. So I'll just bend that and then we can bolt it up. Let's get the height for this tongue established. All right. Back to nuts and bolts. I'll keep that from getting away anyhow. There. Works much better that way. That looks about it. There. I'll go just a shade lower than that mark because I saw it move. Now, since I want to maintain squareness from having this along the same plane as this, we'll just jack that up when we want to bend it. That'll keep everything square and lined up. All right. Whoops. Tripod fell apart. Just one of those things. That turned out pretty well. Bolt up down there and up there. We got our tongue. That ought to do it. I sure wish I had some spray paint. Actually, I got a bunch of spray paint, but nothing the right color. I mean, got like lime green and stuff, but that ain't gonna work. Let's get this thing bolted up, and then I can consider the vertical portion of it. This is a really good spot for a double nut. Gotta figure out where I put the first one. So I just went and got 2 more. I had them in a jar. Anyway. First time for everything. I didn't do that on camera first. I'm partly making these videos. I want a spacer in there. Okay, I'm partly making these videos so I can watch this stuff later. Maybe when I'm old. Alright, we'll have to add a spacer in that, tighten it up, and let's see, where do we go from here? We'll have to corral that thing somehow, of course, probably just that way. And the remnants of this. Something like that. I'll figure it out. I don't want to burn tape, but yeah, that's what we're going to do. Just lift it up and out of there. Since this wraps around ever so slightly, that should be enough to keep it. I'll probably bungee it anyhow. And up there, I suppose, yeah, I need a place for this wire to hang on. So yeah, cool. All right, I got that all marked out, and I figured this needs, yeah, see it here for yourself first. Let's try to balance that again. This needs a brace, so that will be, sorry, that'll be located right about there. Oops. Anyhow, I gotta get to welding that. I'll be back. Now cutting that bar was a pain in the butt, I ain't gonna lie. I got it in there and I was able to kind of squeeze it and slowly cut into it until I got in about, oh, basically until I broke through the wall of it. And then into the vise with it. Crap, I'm holding too many things. Anyway, I clamped this into the vise over here and kind of held it there and babied it through until I got enough where I could guide it by itself. Then I had to take it, flip it around. It would have added like 20 minutes to this video. And from its highest point here, I was able to start the mark for the cut. And again, just babied it through. And then I just put the bar in the vise and followed it through. It actually turned out pretty well. Since tires typically don't react very well to welding flames, you should probably take them off. There, that's it. Okay, now that I got the wheels off, got it held up, I wanted to explain my welding rods. These things are from those political signs you see every 2 years. I just go around and pick them all up. They work really well if you don't have a coat hanger or if you want something thicker. Since I've got to bridge the gaps, I wanted something thicker. Besides, I'm out of coat hangers. Take a wire brush to clean it up. Now I suppose I'll probably go get a can of paint. A little bit of sandpaper to clean the edge of that off. Don't burn yourself with it. Anyway, you get the point. Okay, finally we got the paint dry. Enough we put this thing together. as I figure out where I put the bolt. Got it. Anyway. I wonder why I'm always forgetting stuff. I can't even say it with a straight face. Oh, let's put the lock washer in there first. Anyway, what I need to do after this, see, we'll snug that right there so it can still pivot, and then we'll lock these two nuts together. Where was I? Oh yeah, as soon as I'm done with this part, you know, now that I think about it, this lock washer is pretty redundant. But anyway, like I was saying, I gotta find a place to put that cord. And what gets me, I just don't understand why. That'll work. I don't understand why someone would throw that away. I mean, seriously, that's a nice wire. I mean, whatever. Go ahead, throw it away. I'll put it in the truck. Let's see how this thing fits in there. Like a glove. And turn that up. Boy, it jams up good. I like that. Trying to figure out what to do with that. We'll just clip it with something like that thing. Maybe even that one. Not sure yet. No. I want that one on the frame somewhere tied to this. We'll tie this to the frame too. Coil that cable up around this thing. Let's see. You know what? All I could do is just chop that right there and right there. File the edges off of it. That cable will ride right in there. That'll work. That's that. Worked out pretty well. The only thing I need to do is go find or make one of these so that I can strip both of these down. That's it. Okay, I was sitting there watching the clips for this particular video and looking at this thing, and I decided I want to edit and add a plate right here for that to sit on. Just bolt it straight down through, drill a couple of holes, and be done with it. And I won't need to have any kind of a bungee cord on this thing at all, because it fits just very snugly. So I won't have to tie it down, but I do want to level it up.